May we start? Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Principal,
sir.
sir.
Principal, sir, can I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can I start,
Yes,
sir?
ma'am. Yes, please, ma'am.
Kailash, sir?
You can start.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning to one and all present here. Knowledge grows when it is shared, and research becomes meaningful when it is communicated effectively. And also, research methodology is the difference between a simple opinion and a scientific fact. Yes, myself, Dr. Deepa Marge, IKC coordinator and organizing secretary of this webinar. It gives me immense pleasure to and great privilege to welcome you all to the one-day online national level webinar on research methodology and data handling. This webinar is organized by Department of Economics, Commerce and Statistics under the IKC initiative SK College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Talikoti. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm and cordial welcome to all our respected chairmen, sir, dignitaries, resource person, faculty members, researchers, and dear students who have joined us from different parts of the country. Don't delay. Let us start our today's program. Seek the blessings of the God for the success of this academic endeavor. So I invite Kumari Mamtaj to present a prayer song. Mamtaj, over to you, ma'am.
सबको नमस्कार। मेरे नाम ममताज, मैं प्रार्थना गीत गा रही हूँ। सुबह सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु, सुबह सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु, करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु, करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु, शुद्ध भाव से तेरा ध्यान लगाए हम, विद्या का वरदान तुम्हीं से पाए, विद्या का वरदान तुम्हीं से पाए हम, तुम्हीं से है आगाज तुम्हीं अंजाम प्रभु, करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु, सुबह सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु, करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु, गुरुओं का सत्कार कभी न भूले हम, गुरुओं का सत्कार कभी न भूले हम, इतना बने गगन को छूले हम, तुम्हीं से है हर सुबह तुम्हीं से शाम प्रभु, तुम्हीं से है हर सुबह तुम्हीं से शाम प्रभु, करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु, करते हैं आज का काम प्रभु, सुबह सवेरे लेकर तेरा नाम प्रभु, करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु, करते हैं हम शुरू आज का काम प्रभु। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Thank you, Mamtaz. Presented such a wonderful prayer song. Now it's time to welcome the dignitaries. So I invite Sri Ramesh Jadhav sir, convener of this webinar, to welcome the dignitaries. Sir, please, over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Esteemed resource person, Professor Kailash sir, respected Chairman Sri V.C. Hiremat sir, Honorable Principal Dr. D.B. Mugadlima sir, distinguished faculty members, research scholar, and dear students. A warm good morning to everyone. It is my great privilege to welcome you all to this one-day national level webinar on research methodology and data handling organized by Department of Economics, Commerce and Statistics under the initiative of I.Q.S.C. We are truly honored to have our respected chairman, Sri V.C. Hiremat sir, whose visionary leadership continuously guides our institution towards excellence. I extend my heartfelt welcome to our distinguished resource person, Professor Kailas Havre, Professor of Economics, Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics, Pune. Sir, we are very grateful for your valuable time and presence with us today. Welcome you, sir. My respectful welcome to our beloved principal, Dr. D.B. Mugadlimat, sir, whose constant encouragement and academic leadership inspires us all. I also welcome Dr. Deepa Malge, madam, IQSC coordinator and organizing secretary of this webinar. Welcome you, madam. I also welcome all the participants across the country, organizing committee members, dear colleagues, and my dear students. Welcome you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this webinar will provide you an opportunity to get to know each other better and to consolidate bonds of friendship and mutual trust. I hope we'll be enriched by this live session. With these words, I once again heartily welcome you all and wish the webinar great success. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for welcoming all. Dear participants, before starting the session, it's our honor duty to introduce our distinguished speaker for today's webinar. So I invite Ms. Sahana Handignur ma'am, HOD of Statistics, to introduce today's resource person, Professor Kailas Thavre sir. Madam, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, all. Respected Chairman, sir, distinguished resource persons, my dear colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce the resource person to this national level webinar. Dear all, the resource person of today's webinar is Professor Kailash Thavre, Assistant Professor of Economics, Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics, Pune. Sir has born in 1st July 1970. Sir has completed MPhil dissertation on an economic study of slums in East Nagpur city. And Sir has completed PhD thesis on an economic study of Maharashtra State Cooperative Tribal Development Corporation Nagpur Division. Sir has also acted as a coordinator, student, seminar supervisor, principal guide, and also acted as a co-guide for master's thesis. Under the guidance of the Sir, 4 students has got PhD award and pursuing 3 students. Sir has attended more than 14 webinars organized by London School of Economics. Sir has presented many papers in national and international conference, and also Sir has published more than 4 books with ISBN number. We are very fortunate to have such a wonderful, knowledgeable and experienced resource person is with us today. I hope we all can make best use of this session. With this brief introduction, once again, welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Sahana ma'am, for your nice introductory speech. Before starting the session, dear participants, some instructions are there. Before we begin, a few quick housekeeping points if you remain. Please ensure you have a stable internet connection. We recommend using headphones for better audio quality. Your microphones will be muted by default to avoid background noise. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. We will address them during the dedicated session at the end. Also, remain one thing, Zoom meeting is only 100 limit is there. Those who are not unable to Zoom link, you also join YouTube live streaming. Thank you. Sir, now it's your time to deliver your session on research methodology and data handling. Sir, Kailas sir, over to you, sir.
थैंक यू. मेरा आवाज आ रहा है उधर?
Yes, sir, audible, sir. आ रही है, sir.
Give me 1 minute, at least. Just
Okay, sir. Okay.
I am sharing the PPTs. Now getting PPT that side.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. How
Yes.
many students are there now? I am not getting that number.
Sir, in Zoom
100?
link, 100, sir.
100, okay.
Yeah, full,
So
sir,
good.
full.
Okay, good morning to everyone. So I will speak on research methodology and data handlings. I hope that the students will understand better way. I will speak very slowly. I don't know how much time I will get it here.
1.5, sir.
1.5 is okay
Okay,
because
sir.
the research methodology data handling is a big and huge topic,
Yes, sir.
but I will try to cover up within that time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Because there are more than 65 PPTs are there, but some PPTs not required.
Yes, sir.
I will very quickly, I will go to the end of the PPTs.
Okay.
I hope that the student will understand my constraint. Okay.
Okay, sir.
स्लाइड शो आ रहा है क्या आप देखिए अभी
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Visible.
विजिबल ना
Slide
Yes.
show करो. Okay, sir.
इट इज फाइन एट
Sir,
योर एंड
slides also change, sir. Slides
हाँ
also.
हाँ okay just you observe me and whenever interruption is there just inform to me.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Definitely,
So
sir.
I will begin with the what is research methodology, right? Uh, 1 minute, huh? Just I have to adjust one thing, okay? Just give me time to adjust. Okay. Uh, I will start with the concept of research methodology, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is on the screen also, but I will explain it what is it is, right? So research methodology refers to the concept where we do the systematic framework and the methods that used by the researcher to the collect, analyze, and interpret the data in order to get our answers to the research questions that we test the hypothesis, right? So methodology that we use only for systematic research. That is not the method where we don't do the systematic research, right? So when we conduct the research, it means that that should be a very systematic framework that we have to design. And wherever we collect the data, that data should be collected on the scientific basis, using the scientific base. And when we analyze the data using the scientific tools and techniques, and when we interpret the data, that data we call it the scientific research methodology, right? Because research methodology it does not mean that when we collect the data without using any systematic methods, techniques and tools. So when we conduct data collection, data techniques, that means we are using the very scientific the tools, right? So within this framework, uh, uh, it explains the three-dimensional answers to the questions, right? When we design our research base, our research areas, at least we think about the 3 to 4 questions, right? One is the how research is conducted and which method to be used, right? So first framework for our research is the how to conduct the research, right? That we have to keep in mind. And then that research, when we decide how to research is conducted, then we should also design the methods and that method how that should be used in that research. Okay. So these are the two research questions. Always we should keep in mind. And then third is the why particular methods are chosen. So for every resource, we have to answer that, or we have to keep in mind that why that particular methods is used, or particular methods are being used for this research. Because when we keep the research questions in mind, then we have to design the research framework so that our method should give the answer of that research questions, right? And if our method is not giving the answer of the research questions, that means that research method is not the right method for our research, right? That we should understand. And the fourth one is the how results are validated. So whatever our analysis, whatever our data, whatever our interpretation, and whatever our outcome, that result should be validated with the technical tools that we use, mostly the statistical methods that through that we have to validate our outcome, that is the result. And then we can say our research methodology is or can be a foolproof to prove that our result is based on the scientific methods and tools or analysis tools. Okay. So research methodology is the science of studying how research is carried out. So we should understand that the what is the research methodology is the science of studying how research is carried out. Now we should understand that the this is the social science, and social science research methodology is very different from the lab methodology. And lab methodology use the scientific experiment, but in this case we can't use the scientific experiment in the lab, and therefore our research should be a scientifically accepted by the research community, and therefore it is a science of studying how research is carried out based on the very the tools or framework that will give the scientific result. It includes in this methodology the procedures, techniques, tools used for the conducting research. Similarly, for example, John Creswell defined it as the overall strategy that integrate the different components of the research in the coherent and the logical ways. Sometimes we don't get the research questions properly. In that case, we have to use the logic and the imagination. So even though sometimes in the research book, there the research book do not give us the very specific answers on the what kind of the methodology on the micro levels. So in that case, we have to use our logical ways, logic or the imagination, and based on that our imagination and the logics of the your research topic, we have to redesign the procedure. Means even at the micro levels, we can redesign the procedure. That is whatever mentioned in the books, and that is not that procedure is not giving your answers. That means that we can use the logic and the imagination, and through that we can combine the different procedures which may not be in the books, or techniques may not in the books, and tools that may not in the books also will give you imagine a logical research questions through that new design framework. So researchers should understand that, so that can be also used even those things are not in the books, right? Then importance of the research methodology. So what are the importance of the methodology? There are the four aspects of the methodology, because that methodology will give the answers to the questions. Ensure scientific and systematic investigation. So what is investigation? So investigation means that research questions is not answered so far. So whenever the research questions, what is you are bringing in your mind, and that research questions are unanswered so far. So that is the investigation that we have to conduct through using the scientific methodology. Even though it is not in the book, but we can combine together, and through which we can conduct the investigation. So investigation means what extent? Investigation means there are different layers of the investigation. It may be a different steps for the investigation. Step 1 may be the lighter way investigation. Step 2 may be the middle level investigation. Third may be the very deeper investigation, micro level investigation. And fourth and fifth may be the thoroughly investigation, deeper and deeper investigation of that research questions that is unanswered so far through the research. That means that we have to go in deeper ways through the end of the your doubt. That means the beyond the your doubt, that will give you the that investigation will give you the micro level answer of the research questions. So that level scientific your tools, new tools will give you the answers. And the second is the helps obtain the reliable and valid results. So nowadays what is happening that we are collecting the data, and just we are analyzing the data, and just we want to give the output of the data, and just we want to declare the results of the data. That is not the case of the true research. So true research should be reliable. That means the maximum community, majority of the people, majority of the academician, researcher should believe that that is your investigation, that is your output, and at least that research should be accepted by the larger research community, and that result should be seen as the valid result. Otherwise people know, people will talk about that the I conducted research, and the I got that the 60% people or 70% people saying yes, even though that is not believable. Even 60-70 people talking about that, that is maybe the result, maybe the bias. So bias result will not give you the true picture of the that research questions. If you want to investigate thorough their opinions, that should be reliable, right? Suppose for example we are going to tribal areas, and we are asking the people that whether you are welcoming modernization in your areas, and 70 people, the research says that 70% people accepting your modernization, and then we declare that the 70-80% people accept the modernization. So whether, because the tribal people are illiterate people, majority of people are illiterate, and your opinion when you are taking from them that the illiterate people, how they are understanding your research question, that is the questions mark on that part. So understanding of the research questions by the tribal people, and when the intensity of research question that you are asking to the tribal people, that should be such a way that they truly, the tribal people should understand your research questions and answer accordingly. Answer should be acceptable that level. Then we can say your result should be validated, right? Now otherwise that result may be a biased result. So some people will not accept, and some people may take a doubtful of your data. Some people will say that the data is not properly collected, the data is not properly distributed, the data, the investigation not conducted by giving representation to the each group living in that area, something like that. So there are a lot of problems while collecting the data from such areas. So zone is important. So representation is important. So classification of the tribes are also important. Then religion is also important. Whether those people are properly rational behind the concept of accepting the any activities in the area that should be understood by them. All kind of the things we have to consider while the collecting conducting research in such a sensible sensitive areas. So this, if it is research methodology is not scientific, then the outcome will not be reliable, or then the outcome or the result cannot be validated. So bias should be avoided. So third thing is the reduces bias and errors. So third is the, in such a case, at least we have to come down the bias of at least 5%, 5 to 10% maximum. That should not be more than that. So error correction or the bias correction should be reduced by at least maximum 10%, and that should be reduced to zero beyond the doubt of your research. And the fourth thing is the provides logical structure to the research. As I said that the your research framework, because different researcher will have the different framework of the same research questions, because their area may be different, their outlook of that research questions may be different, and your intention or expectation may be different. So your research questions designing is the very crucial in that areas. And therefore when you use the logic to select the research questions, or the select or design the research questions, that should be a properly pinpointed. When your research questions is not result from the your resource, right? So why again that will give you the some the 50% unexpected result, 50% expected result. So that kind of the research will not give the valid outcome. So that may not be acceptable in the research community. So that should be the researcher should understand, and that researchers should keep in the mind. So there are the basic steps in the research method. There are the 8 particular steps we can classify our research. 8 steps conducting the research in any areas, even in the PhD, even in the report writing, even in the very specific project given by the government, and so and so. So identification of the research problem is the important. That in case of the your PhD topic, research problem is very very important, because that is the lead to your outcome. So when we don't design the proper research questions or identify the research questions, everything will be useless, right? Everything will be useless, because the research questions, this research problem is not properly designed. Then your target research review of literature may be different, formulation of hypothesis may be wrong, research design preparation may be wrong, data collection may be biased, data analysis will be take you in wrong direction, and the interpretation may be accordingly, and report writing outcome of your research may be the different tune. So when because pinpoint is the identification of the research problem. So research problem properly designed and properly pinpointed. And once you design the research problem, then you do design the micro level research questions in respect to the research problem. When we design the research objective, So every objective must have the micro level research questions. Why? Yeah, why you have chosen that particular objective for the research, right? So your objective must contain the micro level research questions, and micro level research questions will give the micro level answers of your expected research. Okay, so every micro level research questions will have the micro level methods. Okay, so micro level methods will will choose the micro level tools, and the micro level tools require the micro level data, and micro level data will give the micro level output. Okay, so this is the flow of the research, right? So when we design the objective, so objective 1, 2, 3 may be there in the resource. So accordingly, we have to choose the target textbooks or target reference book, right? So if your research is different, and your review of literatures reference books are different, there is a no connection in between or related to the objective, then that research book or resource reference is totally will take you the different direction. Okay, so our step should be there that the research questions, then the research questions, then related reference literature is important, whether that literature covers the your research questions, whether your literature gives the answer of the that research questions. If that literature is not giving you the answer of the that particular research questions, mean the your research questions is different, and the your reference is different. So there is a scope of identifying the resource gap, right? So when we identify the research gap in between the research questions, micro level research questions, and your reference what is available with you, if there is some difference, and your that references are not giving you the answers of your research questions, means it means that there is a there is a research gap. Okay, so research gap means that you are there you are there to bridge the gap, right? You are there to bridge the gap. So that level you have to go, and then you will get you will get the right answer of that your the research question that designed by you. Okay, so that, so every research questions, if there are the 3 4 objectives, and 3 4 objectives will have the different micro level research questions, so that number of the research methods will be there. So each questions, micro level questions, will be answered by using the different types of the research methods, different types of the statistical tools, analysis tools, and maybe the software. Then all the research questions in each objective will be answered by using the different types of the data, or different types of the investigation method, and different types of the sample collection, maybe the data from the different using the different methods. Maybe it may be a qualitative data, it may be a secondary data, and so and so. Okay, so these are the relation between the literature review and the research questions. Okay, so after completing this step, generally we use the formulation of the hypothesis. So hypothesis means that that the whether your research going to answer that research questions. We At this stage, hypothesis and data, just we are expecting whether the your data, whether the hypothesis will meet the needs of the investigation or not, that will be proved at the end of the your analysis. Okay, then fourth number is the research design and preparation. So as I said that the systematic research needs the systematic preparation of the research design. So some of the students, when I review the PhD thesis, I search out throughout the thesis that there are some design is not proper. I am identifying that even though there is a good research, even though there is a good topic, even though data is good and everything, but I can't identify that the proper framework of the research design. If you take the objective, okay, at the first level objective, then second level is the research questions of the each objective. Then we have to choose for the each research questions methodology. Then for the each research questions, what kind of the data we are using for this research questions. It may be a secondary data, it may be a primary data, it may be just kind of the discussion and the interaction, it may be observation, okay, and it may be a just kind of the interaction and observation, it can be a secondary and primary versus primary, and it may be the group discussion, okay. So kind of the combination we can use. So what kind of the combination we are using for the each research questions, that should be a properly mentioned in the chart, okay. So at this time, at this stage, we can understand the what is proper research design. And if you don't do the proper research design, then it is very difficult to understand that the which research questions is being use the data by us to answer the uh, answer the research questions, okay. So that should be properly designed. Then the fifth stage is the data collection. So data collection depends on the your what is objective. You look at the objective first. What is your objective? Then you look at the research questions of the each objective. Then your look at the your methods, right? Which method you can use, or possibly which methods or which data investigation point will give you the answer. Otherwise what will happen that the student generally collect the data, very huge data from different sources, and they don't know that the how to compile the data. They compile everything, right? They also bring all kind of the garbage there, and they get confused there that the what kind of the data we should use for your research questions, because research questions are different, your objective is different, and your data may be different, okay. So that is mismatch in that case. So every research questions should connect it properly with the data. If the data is not giving you the answer of your research questions, then remove the data, okay. That garbage should be dumped somewhere, right? So data collection is not just the data collection, but properly pinpointed data collection is important, okay. Then data analysis. Now some people are talking about that the you use the regression, you use the you know uh, different type of the test and so and so, right? So data analysis is not the depends on the number of statistical tools available, right? Number of statistical methods are available in the market, or number of statistical software available in the market. That is not the case, okay. So data analysis based on what is your objective, okay. Your objective may be different, your research questions may be different, right? But you are using the statistical regression, you maybe use different kind of the ARDL model, or multi-level, multivariate, all kind of the things, garbage again we are putting in the research, and your answer, what is our targeted answer or outcome, may be different, right? Unnecessary things we can put in there in the place, and our thesis will become more bulky without the without taking into consideration our proper research questions. If our micro level research questions really need that level of the data analysis, then you can use it. Okay, I am not talking that don't use the regression method or multi level analysis and vagera something like that. So that is not the case. Your research questions is different and your analysis will be different. Then that will there it will be a mismatch. Okay, so data analysis should be based on what is your research questions. Research questions, you read the research question properly and what you expect from the your data, right? So if you are expecting something else and your research question is something else, right? So there will be a mismatch, right? So you read properly research questions, then your research questions really needs that kind of the research tools, then you take it. Okay, then what kind of the research tools you need it, then you choose in between. Okay, if the research questions is answered by the simple tools, then don't go to the just the sake of using the research tools or research methods. Okay, so that will give the bad impression of the research. For example, if you want to take the opinions of the people in case of whether you need the nuclear plant in your area or not, simply people are saying that yes, we don't want the nuclear plant in our areas because that will create the radiation problem. Okay, so in that case, simply people are saying that the 70-60 people, we don't want the radiation plant, nuclear plant in our areas. And then again we are using the different kind of the research tools, so and so and so we are making very complicated analysis, and we'll say that yes, I got the significant result. What kind of the significant result? Okay, when really people are talking about 90% people saying that we don't want like this, or 95% people we don't like the nuclear plant in our areas, it itself shows that the people are not interested. So in that case, if we are using the deeper statistical methods, and if we want to prove that 90% people, 95%, 99%, if you want to prove through जबरदस्ती से प्रूव करना चाहते हैं, okay, anyhow you have to use the statistical method, and we have to confirm that 95 people really speaking or not really speaking. So that method will not give the answer, really speaking or not really speaking, like that. Okay, so the same data we can use with the statistical tools, using the statistical tools. That does not mean that your research is useless. Okay, so simple opinions of the people with the simple data analysis will prove that very major research outcome, right? Then interpretation. Now there are different types of the interpretation, because when we are going for the research questions, micro level research questions, then the interpretation how you are putting in place. Some people will say that some people are saying that yes, okay, no problem, yes, 95% people say yes. But what condition they said yes? Whether there was a pressure on them. If there is a pressure on them, and if they say yes, it is not the true result. Okay, if you are teaching them that you say yes, I will ask you the research question, this one, and the people will say yes, then everybody will say yes, your outcome will be 100% people are accepting your particular things they in that area. That is not the true result. Whether their preparation, their mindset should be a rational, they should be free from all kind of the pressure. If it is there and your data collection matching that expectation, then their yes is valid. Otherwise, their no will be valid. Okay. So yes will be no and no will be yes. Okay. So we have to, in what condition you are collecting data and what condition you are putting your interpretation in place, that should be a properly understood by the researcher. Okay. That is 7. And the report writing accordingly, we can go ahead with that. These are the 8 points, basic steps for the research methodology. But while doing so, we have to be very careful about this eight points, 8 steps while conducting the research for your research project. Okay. Then objective of the research methodology. There are the 4 5 objectives of the research methodology: to identify the research problem. It is I explained. To determine the appropriate research design, then select the suitable data collection methods, to analyze the interpret data scientifically, and to ensure the validity and reliability of the research finding. So these are the 5 steps of the objective of the research methodology. It is very simple to understand. Now there are the uh, uh, at least 7 components of the research methodology. Okay, I will very quickly I will go because time is very limited. So research problem. So already I explained the research problem. The research problem is the issue and questions that researcher wants to investigate. For example, impact of the SSG bank linkage program on the rural financial inclusion. That may be the research problem. And then we want to investigate this problem in the rural areas. So this is the example of the research problem. Second is the research design. The research design is the overall plan or the blueprint for the conduct of the research. So as I said already before this, that the your blueprint should be prepared to conduct the research. There are types of the research in the research for the research project. Exploratory research. Exploratory research means that there is no research before that. So you can explore the new areas. For example, ecosystem. For example, environment. For example, new biodiversity. For example, new minerals. For example, new social problem. For example, new social theories. For example, new understanding of the people, social behavior, ethics. These are the research exploratory questions, right? Well-beings of the people, health risks of the people. So these are the new research areas you can explore where that may be exploratory, and that is not done by anyone before that. So, right? You can capture the new area for the research, right? Second is the descriptive research. So descriptive research means that your research while using the data, you can describe according to your research questions, yeah, as per your understanding. Okay, because the same data set, same text can be explained differently by the different people, right? For example, in case of the history, economic history or economic thought, what Adam Smith says in that time, what Ricardo said that time, what Malthus said that time. Okay, so you can put your own opinions about the different opinions earlier given by the different scientists or different, the academician and maybe the experts. So your opinion may be different than these people. So that description can be explained by you, right? That is the descriptive research. Analytical research, you can use the both quantity and quality data, and then you can in both combination of the both, you can use the statistical tools, and you can put your mind, intellectual knowledge, and you can analyze the each data point, and you can explain, interpret according to your ability, and then you can prove that this data point, that interpretation according to your ability, you can put forward. Okay, so that kind of the research will be analytical research. It may be your opinions may differ from other researcher, but that is okay, that is not the problem. That should be there because your own mind will tell you that you put your brain and skill using the same data set but with the different opinions. Okay, so that level you can go ahead with that research. Then the fourth is the experimental research. Experimental research means that the even social cases, or even in social behavior cases, you can conduct some research, experiment, a research opinion experiment, that with the different tools or frequent visit of the people without knowing to them. For example, contingent valuation method. In case of the environment research, though we have to conduct data, at different stages, at different levels and different period, without knowing to them that you are conducting different type of the experiment on them, to get the proper and true answer from these people. Okay, experiment. For example, you are asking the questions, same questions, but you are changing the sequence. Okay, next time you are changing the sequence, and third time also you are changing the slightly the research questions, but the answer will be the same, or the similar answer will be same, right? So the same research questions, differently designed or differently number. So that experiment you conduct, and the respondent giving the same answer in the all the three four times, that means you are validating your research questions and answer at each data point. Okay, so that is the rigorous experiment some people are conducting. And because you want to validate your answer or expected outcome very thoroughly, very the rigorously, so that your answer will not be the biased. Okay, so 100% you will get the answer unbiased. Okay, so in that case we are using the experimental research, vagera vagera. So then third is the research purpose and methods. As I said that the some people say that the what is the research purpose. Some people, you know they don't know that the purpose of the research. They just say that, okay, I want to do the PhD research, okay, without purpose, है ना. Some people will say, no, I want to just मेरे रिलेटिव ने बोला रिसर्च करो, कर रहा हूँ. That is not the research purpose. Purpose should be a valid purpose. We have to, ascertain that I want to investigate, this problem because my brain is, not keep quiet, because this my every night my brain is asking me that you conduct the research because this problem is very severe. For example, now today means that in last 1 week there is a war between US and Israel and Iran is going on, right? So every day, this problem, hammering my brain that why these people are fighting together, fighting, why they are these people are wasting the natural resources, why these people fighting, and why these people are not ending the war. So these research questions, every day, for last 1 week, you know hammering my brain, and I am investigating that the why these people are troubling each other, why other nations also not coming forward to stop the the war, why everybody quietly listening to some countries, and why the some countries keeping quiet, why some people supporting to the wrongdoings and something like that. So these are the research questions in my mind every day coming to my mind, that the why people are the compromising their democratic opinions, why people are compromising their what you can say ethical values, social values, societal values, and something like that. Why some people these are the resource question, why people want to attack some countries, why some people want to control their regime, why some people want to destroy their countries or resources and something like that, because larger masses of the world going to suffer out of this the war, right? So the purpose of the research is very clear, that I want to investigate the minds of the people, why they want to control particular country's regime, or why these people want to attack them, torture them, harass them, something like that. So this type of, the research questions coming to my mind, and, the researcher should, aware about that kind of that level of the research, that will indicate the research purpose. Okay. So when you get the clear that research purpose, then methods will automatically will come. How to conduct the data, how can will get the information, how I will, if even I will get the data or uninterrupted data or interrupted data, or may not be a time series data, may not be a full proof data, then what will be the alternatives to that data will answer my research questions. So I will have the huge scope for it, for this research, and that will be the new area for me also. So research purpose and methods can be classified into two levels, the based on the purpose. So one is the purpose, the basic pure research purpose, and second is the applied research. So applied research will give the applied answers, right? Just kind of the research means you give the just understanding. Applied research means I want to investigate so that I can properly use the resources for the future generation, right? So future generation is my target. I can use the resources, but without considering my future generation. So I'll, for example, in this case, I'll use the resources for the future generation. So what level I have to save the resources, what level I want to extend my resources to the next generation, how many years I have to conserve the resources, my future generation. That kind of the research will be the applied research, right? So what is the purpose? So purpose is a very rigorous purpose maybe, and your research will give the some suggestive outcome, so that we can make the proper plan of utilization of those resources, right? Natural resources. Second is the based on the method. So when we conduct the research, so whether our qualitative research give the fully answer, whether our quantitative research give the fully answer, or both we have to mix together. So qualitative methods, quantitative methods, both will give you the different answers for the different research questions or different objectives of your research. So qualitative methods are the same same intensity and same, the rigor to answer your research questions. And even quantitative research will also give the similar kind of the outcome. Okay. Some people rely on the quantitative, some people on qualitative, some people on the mix of both, but rigorous, rigorous analysis, rigorous data interpretation will give the more and more, true picture of the research questions. Okay. Then data collection method, as I said, primary data collection collected by different means. For example, surveys, interviews, observations, and research questionnaires. These are the four stages through which we can combine together. For example, secondary data we can collect from the different sources. It may be a books and journals, government reports, census data, research articles, maybe published data, and so and so that way we can collect the secondary data. Then sample design, there are different, stages of collection of the sample data. Sample means the selecting a subset of the population of for study, or the out of the total universe we can take the few samples representative, so that you will get the answer of the research questions. Okay. So there are probability of samplings, then non probability of samplings. So that level you can go and you can check the possibilities of the sampling levels that will represent the data to the 100% universe, right? For example, simple random sampling may have the different random samplings. Okay. There are different stages of the random sampling. Some people are taking just 1 2 3 4 5 like that. Some people going through the groupings of the randoms. Okay. So one group, then second group, then third group, and fifth group like that, and among the that groups, they are again randomizing their samples. Okay, so from that group, random sampling, another group random sampling, third group random sampling, fourth group random sampling, like that. You can also check it like that. Some of the random sampling like that, every 5, every 6, every 7 household, you will choose one, okay, randomly, without knowing the caste, creed, religion, and something like that. Okay, so that level you can also go for the random sampling, or you can take the random like this: one house from the different religion, one house from the different religion, one house from the different caste, one house from the different the ethnicity, one house from different, and one house from the different societal belief. So that way also you can, zigzag way, we can say z zigzag way, you can go random sampling. So depends on you, your purpose, to reduce the bias actually from the research. That level you can go. The result will be the similar, not the same, but similar. Depends on your your understanding about the data and your purpose of the random sampling, so that you can reduce the bias up to 0 levels. Okay, then stratified samplings, then purpose use samplings, that level you can go. Then data analysis techniques, method used to analysis collect data. Then quantitative जो techniques है, where we use the regression analysis. Regression analysis is very simple, right? You must be knowing that y equal to alpha equal to b1, b0, x1 or x0, something like that. Okay, in plus error terms. Okay, it is a simple regression analysis equation. So if you want to multiple regression analysis, so you add the number of parameters there and extend your the multiple regression analysis. If their purpose is there, then you can extend whatever you want it. But if there is a no parameters to extend and want to see the impact of the independent variables on the dependent variables, then you will get the proper result. If there is a no independent variable related to the dependent variable, even though that you are going, then you will not get the proper result, and that result may mislead you, okay, in regression analysis. So while using the regression analysis, your outcome, your dependent variable, and the independent variable properly correlated, because correlation will give you the answer. If there is no correlation at all, but you want to check it, your outcome will be white. That means the useless. Okay, so correlation means is very important with the dependent variable, with the independent variable. Correlation will give you the whether that particular parameters is important, whether that is, if there is a no relation, then answer will be there, but the that answer will mislead you. Significant or not insignificant, that is not the matter. Matter is that if there is a no correlation, so there is a no, there is a no hope for taking for that kind of the parameters in the research. Okay, then hypothesis, the h0 and h1 alternative, and your hypothesis, when we check it there, that the your significant or not significant, that value will give you the h0 and h1 values. So but in the research, when we check the hypothesis, you will get answer that analysis will give you the answer yes or no. Okay, h0 or h1, that is the only option with you. But that is not the case in the research. After doing this kind of the hypothesis, and if you are getting h1 or h1, h0 or h1 analysis, whatever according to the data analysis, your research should not end there. Your research should start from there. Okay, again you have to take further level, that why h1 and why h0, right? That research questions should come to in your mind, that why h1, why h0, and that needs the deeper investigation of the your data, deeper investigation, and after deeper investigation you will get the deeper answer, proper answer of the research questions. Okay, otherwise H0 and H1 will not give just testing hypothesis and end the resource. It is not the purpose of our purpose of the our research, and will not give the answer of the research questions. Then quantitative, then qualitative techniques, content analysis. So content analysis, sometimes we collect the data on different profile, and we take the data for the statistical analysis, and whatever result, again we come to that point, and again we test the hypothesis vagera, something like that. But we miss the observation. While collecting the data, we should write the observation of each household or respondent. If there is a no qualitative analysis, or if there is a no observation from your side, that means that I will say you are missing something. Okay, some people talk differently and some people answer differently. Okay, some people speak differently, some people will hide the information giving when you start writing their response. Okay, they will say they are uncertain about the answer. For example, I will give the reasons for it. Suppose for example you are asking that कि भाई आपको कितना प्रोडक्शन हो आपके खेत में, होता तो 10 क्विंटल पर एकड़, बट दे विल से होता है 5 क्विंटल होता है, 6 क्विंटल होता है, 5 6 होता है. So these household respondent hiding the real information. So you will note down 5 or 6, but actually they got the output from their agri land is 8 to 9 quintal, because every household or respondent may hide the information, and you will get the the less information from them, less information, and your outcome will be accordingly, right? So therefore your discussion with them, involve in discussion with them, and try to collect the proper information instead of asking the straightforward questions to them. Okay, first you interact with them, you find out the expected answer from them, and then you try to write down your research questions, or whatever questionnaires with you, or schedule, whatever you call it. Then you try to marks their responses on the sheet. Otherwise you will get the misleading result from them, because the nowadays respondent will not properly talk to you, will not give the proper answer, and they were in qualitative analysis, you will get the different kind of the bias result. Okay, so content analysis, observation analysis, interaction analysis, right? The group discussion analysis, your observation and your understanding. So that should be a matching, and accordingly your observation and conclusion should be drawn from the your understanding. Okay, then case study and methods, thematic analysis, these are the different tools that you can use for it. Interpretation and report writing, the final stage involves the interpreting the results, then the drawing the conclusion, then writing the research report. So these are the final stage of the your things whatever you conducted earlier. Now the after the resource things, I am coming to the data handlings. Okay, so data and their handlings. So what is data? Already you must be understood that the what is data. Data means that the data series available with us from the different sources. Secondary data proper, we generally talk about the secondary data. It may be a GDP data, it may be a population data, it may be a mineral data, it may be a tax data, and something like that. Okay, so these are the data. Okay, data series may be there, maybe monetary data, maybe foreign exchange data, maybe trade data. Types of the data available for you for the research, that is the data. Okay, so data is the collection of the facts such as values and measurement. So different data will give the values, trend of the progress. progress of the your what is happening about the growth and development. In that case, we will get the values and measurement accordingly. We will put our brain to analyze the data. For example, pollution data, right? So we will get the daily data, pollution data, and when we combine the data series there, time series data there for the long term, data, if we get it, then we try to analyze that the what is the 10 years before the pollution data and what is today. So when we want to compare the data and pollution levels for decades to decades, then we will get different kind of the pictures, and we can go for the statistical tools as I described earlier. Okay, so data means numerical, non-numerical information available in different forms, styles to the general public, researcher, policymakers, analyst, and academician. So that is the data that will be useful for analysis. Usefulness, data helps on the various points. For example, one can calculate, analyze, interpret, plan, estimate, protect, forecast, and to arrive at the conclusion. So data will give the trend, different types of the trend, and trend analysis will give the different type of the outcome, and that outcome will give us the some kind of the lead, and based on the leads given by the data, we can reframe the policy, or we can redesign the our the policy framework for the future course of action, or maybe a new policy design, or maybe a scheme for that particular areas or sectors, right? So data is useful because without data we can't make any plan for the development of the any sectors like that. So without proper and genuine numerical data, calculations are not possible in statistical tools or mathematical ways. Okay, we can't analyze without data. Non-numerical data gives you an idea of various points. For example, satisfaction levels on various products, facilities, amenities and services. Some people will ask you that कि भाई हमारे यहाँ पे खाना खाया है, आपको कैसा लगा? आप बोलेंगे यस, बड़ा वाला सेटिस्फेक्शन देंगे, नहीं नहीं थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं है, नहीं नहीं चलता है, something like that, because your answer is giving a different levels. Okay, अच्छा satisfied हुआ, थोड़ा satisfied हुआ, चलता है हुआ, like that. Okay, so that levels you will express your opinions. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10 लेवल तक आप जा सकते हैं स्केल में, अगर आपको करना है। कुछ लोग तो 5 लेवल तक ही खत्म कर देते हैं, अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत ही अच्छा है, और और लाजवाब है, समथिंग लाइक दैट। तो आपने क्या किया, अच्छा से अच्छा है उसका स्केल बढ़ाते बढ़ाते ऐसा गया कि लास्ट पॉइंट 5 मार्क्स मीन्स दैट आउट ऑफ 4 पॉइंट्स 5 पॉइंट स्केल आपने ऐसा बोल दिया कि आपकी चीज दुनिया में कहीं नहीं मिलती, इट इज अ वेरी वेरी यूनिक। 4 मीन्स थोड़ा यूनिक है, 5 मीन्स चलता है, 2 मीन्स कोई बात नहीं है, और 1 मीन्स जीरो, क्या बात है, हमको पसंद नहीं है, समथिंग लाइक दैट। सो 0 to 5 इन दैट पॉइंट, 5 इज लाजवाब मीन्स ये चीज कई दुनिया में है ही नहीं जो आपके पास है। तो ऐसा लेवल तक हम लोग लेवल तक जा सकते हैं, इवन इन द qualitative non-numerical data, and then we can also analyze the data, and we can also uh, take out the result, we can also reframe the policy, something like that. Okay, so type of the data used in the interpretation, there are two broad types of the data used in the interpretation. Already I given the qualitative data, then quantitative data forms, right? So for example, just now I will go very quickly. For example, data, religion, affiliation, type of automobile owned, date of birth, state of birth, eyes colors and something like that. He is a brown and black, he has a long hair, and he has a lot of energy. So these are the type of the data we can go for the analysis. Quantitative data, for example, data on the growth, data on the progress, that will be very useful for us. Okay, then there are different types of the analysis. Okay, continuous series, for example, discrete variables. Okay, discrete variable is counted, so can only be assume the certain values, and they are usually the gaps between the values. For example, the number of bedrooms in a house, 1 to 3, something like that. So that will give the something discrete data variables. So that data accordingly we have to put the analysis. Okay, for example, he has a 4 legs, he has a 2 brothers, something like that. So ऐसा data collect करके we have to classify the data according to the numbers. Then we can say, we can convert into percentage. And if you don't want to that simple methods, you can put the data analysis tools in place. You will get the differ analysis. Continuous variables, continued data is measure, can assume any value within a specific range. For example, time, it takes fly from Pune to Bangalore, something like that. So time, because every flight will have the different time period to reach the Bangalore. Okay, Indigo may be faster, Kingfisher may be slightly 2 minutes slower, like that, because it depends on the speed of the airlines. Okay, their engines working, maybe wind, depends on the wind is also important. If that time particular traveling wind is opposite side, or is not taking plane very faster, so wind is the parameters also. Their engine capacity is also parameter. Then there is a the pilot's skill is also important. Okay, so these are the variables to take the flight at the earliest reaching to that particular destinations. Okay, so that may be that may require very time series data for the long period, so that we will get the proper answer from that analysis. Okay, for example, he weight is 25.5 kg, so daily weight checking or the noting will give you the average weight, whether the habits of that person. So कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि वो खाने का हैबिट्स अलग होता है, पीने का हैबिट्स अलग होता है, और फिर एक्सरसाइज का हैबिट्स अलग होता है. सो एवरी डे देयर वेट में फ्लक्चुएट. सो एवरी टाइम अभी लोग क्या करते हैं, आप देखा भी होगा कि अपने हाथ को एक डिजिटल वॉच लगा लेते और हर मिनट में अपना हार्ट बीट गिन लेते हैं कि मेरा हार्ट तो हर मिनट में ठीक तो चल रहा कि नहीं चल रहा. क्या जरूरत है, लेकिन लोग गिनते हैं अपना एवरी मिनट. दे आर लुकिंग एट द द वॉच, एंड दैट दे सी दैट कि भाई मेरा हार्ट ठीक है कि नहीं है. आधा घंटे पहले अच्छा था, अभी क्या हो गया मेरे हार्ट को, फिर शाम को क्या हुआ, सुबह क्या हुआ. तो ऐसी चिंता करके उसका हार्ट पहले ही खराब हो जाता है ना. ऐसा चिंता नहीं करना चाहिए, बिकॉज आवर बॉडी एट डिफरेंट आवर्स, डिफरेंट मिनट्स वर्किंग डिफरेंटली. सो इट विल नॉट गिव द सेम result at every moment. When you look at the watch is very dangerous for us, because uh, that will increase your the tension of the heart. Okay, so more the tension, more the problem for you for living, and more the tension, more the pressure on the body, more the pressure on the brain, and more the your brain will degrade, or reduce the capacity, and that means your brain will dry up earliest. Okay, your hormones will be get affected. Then all hormones, negative hormones, will affect differently on the body. So your finally life expectancy may be less than what is expected from your body, even at the different, even at the same parameters, what is your eating habits and what is your lifestyle. ओके, तो ये वॉच है, ये एक छोटी सी डिजिटल वॉच आपको हर दिन डिस्टर्ब करते करते आपका एक दिन लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी भी कम कर सकती है. ध्यान में रखना, ये छोटी सी डिजिटल वॉच आपके कोई काम की नहीं है. जब आदमी बीमार पड़ता है तो डॉक्टर लगाता है वॉच और पूछता है कि भाई क्या हुआ करके, वो थोड़ा हर मिनट में देखता है कि नहीं. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट. वी शुड नॉट टेक द मच रिगरस monitoring system, so that you will get affected. For example, it is for the example, you consider it. Okay, So data analysis, qualitative data, the quantitative data, numerical, discrete and continuous, as I already said and I already explained. So data series may be at different levels, okay? Interval data, large data, 10 years, census data, for example, you will get the interval of 10 years data, then sample data, 5 years data, NSS data is different levels, you will get the data. So sample may be a different size, area, sector wise data you will get it, okay? So census data is different, sample data, NSS data is interval is very different. So while taking this data for the analysis, interval may be different, okay? So data analysis and result may be different, okay? So in some cases yearly data is available, that is we call it the annual data. So your result will be a different. There is a no other alternative. For example, data on growth, balance of payment, trade are the example for the data handlings, data for this, okay? But now the question is that the you are getting the data, but data should be clean by you. Data handling is very important. Getting data just and putting in the analysis, that is not the way to take the data for analysis. First, you look at the data, whether data series and data parameters properly properly given or not. If it is properly not given, so clean the data first, okay? Put the data, the data framework, and if the parameter is not important, remove it from the that framework, right? Only important things and parameter, keep it there, and then you put and make the relationship, see the correlationship, okay? Then you put the pinpoint the dependent variable, pinpoint the independent variables, maybe variable or maybe variables, and then if there is a no relationship between the dependent and independent variables, you remove it, that variables, okay? Unnecessary putting, keeping there that variable without having some theoretical establishment, theoretical any relationship, but you are putting there that as a dummy or something like that. So that is, in that case you will not get the proper result. Just you are putting जबरदस्ती से वो रखा हुआ है, गेस्ट रख के कोई फायदा नहीं होता विदाउट एनी पर्पज. Purpose is there is okay, purpose is not there, don't put there very forcefully, so that at least to आपको expectation is that something will get it out of that. So that is not the purpose of the research. Pinpoint very seriously the your parameters, choose the very targeted parameters, see the theoretical analysis of your parameters in relationship between the dependent variables or interaction between the independent variables among them, find some relationship, and then you choose those parameters. If there is a no theoretical interpretation, there is a no theoretical establishment, there is a no any other the research on it, no theoretical relationship, then in that case that variable is useless for the analysis. Otherwise you will be the one for the pinpointing that through the research कि भाई ये पैरामीटर्स थ्योरी में तो है ही नहीं, लेकिन मैंने ढूंढ के निकाला है, ये अभी तक छुपा हुआ था. O Chupawa variables is very important for the analysis, and that because of that analysis or because of that variables, your output is very better than earlier if you are not included, if you are not including that variables in the research, something like that, okay? So you understand that way. So there may be a quarterly data. So quarterly data we have to be very careful to take it, because quarter data is also the data point for the analysis. So every point, it may be a yearly, it may be a 5 yearly, it may be a 10 yearly, it may be quarterly, it may be a daily, it may be a hourly, it may be a per second, okay, real time data. So these are the data points. So data points, what kind of the data points available to you? accordingly your data points and your observation, every minute observation, every hour's observation, every day observation, every month observation, fortnightly observation, quarterly observation, the yearly observation, and sample data like 5 years observation, all are important, and those purpose will get resolved. Okay, so purpose of the data: such data are prepared to understand the progress of sensitive area in the any quarter. It requires to compile because such area need corrective measures on time. For example, RBI data on credit policy, it is a quarterly coming to us. Bank progress quarterly coming to us. Data, debt data, stock market data daily coming to us. Inflation data weekly coming to us, trade data quarterly coming to us, FDI data yearly coming to us, balance of data yearly coming to us. So these are the different data points for the different expected data that we need for the analysis. So monthly data is there. For example, there are types of examples are there, weekly data as I said and I explain right now. So sources of data, there are already I explained it, secondary source and primary source. Okay, so these are the different types of the softwares for the data analysis. We can use it. For example, some people use the Excel. Within that also you can get it there and you can analyze. Some people use the Python, some people use the R, some people use the SPSS, some people use the different types of the tools for the analysis. Okay, e-views also is there, vagera vagera. But according to their suitability to the every researcher, okay, you can choose anyone. Data result will be the similar or same. That is not much difference, but you can use it and you can go for the analysis. Okay. So these already I explain it. These are the data sources for you. You look at those things. There are some, the analysis. The link is there from where you can get the data and just you can put your brain for the analysis if you are interested for it. Okay. Quarterly data is there. Quarterly data varies. That is also links are there. Then these are the complete profile of the bank's yearly quarterly data. You will get it. Okay, these are the reports. Just you click it, you will get it, the data and analysis at that levels. Okay, so these are also the data sources for you. Different data, different data sources easily available for the analysis. You can use that data for the analysis. These are also some link for you. You can go for it, and these are the links for the data. Okay. So you can use different kind of the, graphs patterns. Okay, tables, columns, graph bars, line graphs. So column, bar graph, line graphs, pie areas. These are giving the, the same things with the different, patterns. Okay. So you can choose anything. That is not the case that the bar is okay, line is not okay. So you choose it, but you have to put your data for the visible form. That should be a visible for us, right? Visible form. So visible form is very easily understand through the picture and graphs, and that will give us the better picture of the data and data analysis. Okay, these are the some data set series from 5 to 6 to 11 to 12. You will get some picture. Just it is an example. This is not uh, uh, the data for analysis for you. Okay. So this here he mentioned the rate of growth of GDP at factor cost 4 to 5, price as per in percentage. Okay. So it is a data available at the factor cost. Okay. So it is a factor cost, sometimes at the current price, some as a constant price. Okay. So you have to choose that at what kind of the data you want to take for the analysis. It may be a current price, it may be a factor price, it may be a the constant price. So accordingly, you will get data available that you can use it. This is a sectoral composition of GDP, for example. So you can get it 1950, 51, 60, something like that. So that series will be available to the 21, 25, 26, something like that. Okay, 51 से लेकर 21 तक आपको सीरीज मिल जाती है CSO डेटा सोर्स में. उसमें आप GDP का भी आप देख सकते हैं, पूरा टोटल ग्रोथ रेट. अभी भी एक सिंपल प्रोग्रेस हमको दिखता है 1951, 51, 2 में एग्री का कंट्रीब्यूशन 53.1 है, सर्विस का 30% है. इधर नीचे में आप जाओगे 11, 12 में 59 है, एग्री का 13 तक आ गया है. 21 में पिक्चर इज वेरी डिफरेंट, 65% सर्विस का है, इंडस्ट्री का 24-25% है, और एग्री का 15-16% पे आ गया है. सो दैट ट्रेंड विल शो द वेयर our economic progress is going on and what direction. Okay, so that will give the simple picture through the data. These are the different type of the country, different countries where we will get their data also. So we can also take the other countries for the multi-country analysis. Okay, so if state GDP is there, state GDP is available, then multi-state analysis. If multi-country data is available, then we can call it multi-country analysis as compared with our country. And if there is a multi-dimensional data is available, then we can say multi-sectoral, multi-dimensional data for the analysis. Depends on your purpose. If your purpose is like that, so accordingly data can be uh, 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 shifted. Okay, so this country-wise composition. Okay, this is a visible presentation. You can use the data, you can use the line graph, multiple of that, visible. This is the bar diagram, then line diagram you can merge together for the better understanding of the data. Here is also the bar diagram with the line graph. Okay, so combination of the both you can put accordingly so that the picturize the better ways. Okay, this is the different types of the color code. That level you can go. This is the CO2 data. This is a simple bar diagram, and that bar will show you the colors visible understanding of the data. Like this is also bar diagram. So you can put like this, and you can make the beautiful diagrams, beautiful visible pictures, so that the examiners can easily understand your you know presentation. This is also the same thing, gross domestic expenditure, R&D, and GDP. This will give the different countries trend of the data, and that way we can put our intellectual analysis before the audience, and audience will look at the data with in comparison of the country within the globe or continent, and that level, uh, that way we can put that in a same graph the different countries progress, so that we can understand easily what is this and what is their progress, and where we are standing. For example, there may be our country here, for example 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4 5 6 लेवल पे हमारी कंट्री है, बट आवर प्रोग्रेस एंड the domestic expenditure will be here, and the Israel, Sweden, and Finland is the last levels. There we can compare the progress of our country on the expenditure, rate of growth of GDP, of the yearly data. Here we can also put momentum. We can also see then policy rate changes. For example, inflation, we can see different levels of fluctuation of the data. That level, this is a visible data, and visible data also, shows some kind of the fluctuation, right? Trouble, trouble of the progress between the particular point, one point to another point, and that will give us some kind of the indication, and through indication we can understood why something like that, hard fluctuation in particular years, and very similar very stable fluctuation, very minor fluctuation in some years. So this will give us the major, the indication that we have to look at the particular years where there is a hard fluctuation of the data. Okay, so that way we can get some information. This is the pie chart. Pie chart is also giving us some better visible showcase to understand the data. Okay, this is the bar diagram. This is another the cloud type of the data analysis related to the ECB, deposit facility, LITRO, LTRO. So you can also showcase the data like ways. This is a scattered presentation. Your data points, how on the graph is scattered and how it looks like. Okay, so this is also in statistic is very popular presentation. Okay, then here is the dog nut presentation. Nowadays, some presenters also using this type of the presentation of the data. This is also another way presentation, and this point will give us the visible picture for us. This is also bar diagram with the 100% representation. Within that, the different contribution, what is there in single diagram, that is this is the graph related to the global hunger index. So hunger index point uh, giving the continental data, and within that different colors giving you the different the problem. For example, black represent the under 5 mortality, light green represent the prevalence of underweight in children, then the uh, dark green represent the proportion of the undernourished children. So in different continent, because we are taking in one graph the underweight, mortality, the proportion of the undernourished, and the continental data in one picture. Okay, so we can compare within that for the every data point in a one diagram. Okay, multiple analysis in one graph, one bigger graph. Okay, so analysis of representation by the international report. So whatever given by the analysis, your opinion generation is important. Okay, they may something, but your opinion after reading the report, after reading the graphs, you should generate your opinions. That is important. Okay, your opinion may be mismatched with their analysis. Okay, but you try to put your brain that you read the each line of the report, and you put your brain that whether it is true or not, whether your opinion matching with their interpretation or not, and your if it is a mismatching, why it is mismatching, why you are not accepting their conclusion or interpretation, why you are putting your brain differently, and how you want to interpret according to your understanding. So these are the research questions about the reading the reports and your forward looking analysis, new analysis on the same data set. Okay, so you have to encourage yourself putting your brain in the different ways on the same report. Okay, this is also data analysis. Okay, your presentation should not be a similar but may be different on the same data set. So you remember that always you try to put your brain differently. Always you don't accept anyone's conclusion very easily. You should be a very tough to accept the analysis. Okay, you go and deeper, then your intellectual progress or your intellectual knowledge will increase. Otherwise, that is not. If you are easily accepting all the opinions, that means that there is a no scope of development, there is a no scope of enhance your knowledge capacity. Your knowledge capacity can be enhanced when you are thinking differently. So at every data point or on every report analysis, after analysis, your your brain set your brain should think differently. Then you will get the better chance to uh, 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 prove your capability on the research that you are a different person on the data set, and you will prove that you may be thinking differently, and your output may be different, and analysis may be different on the same data set. Okay, so that level you have to take up your analysis, and then you will get the better chance to improve your quality of the research. Okay, that I will think about that one. I think I think already I explained this one: mean, correlation, standard deviation, regression, and time series analysis, because we need more time to take the practical examples for this. Any questions I will take it back to, because I will get the ideas that, and I will try my best to answer your research questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your insightful session, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we take some questions, a few
Yeah,
questions?
yeah, yes, yes, no problem, no problem.
Okay,
No
okay, sir.
problem.
Rodgi, sir. Rodgi, sir.
Anushya, stop
Sir,
your sharing, sir. Repeat sharing.
Rodgi, sir, unmute all participants' audio, sir.
Yes, yes.
Kailash, sir, Gangshet, sir, he has also joined, sir, this
Yeah, yeah,
webinar.
okay. Hello, Gansetti sir.
Sir,
Hello, sir.
very good afternoon.
Stop your sharing, repeat sharing.
Wait,
Hello,
wait.
sir.
Kirana,
Hello.
it's okay. It's okay.
Sir, very good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon. Kaise
Nice
ho?
presentation, sir.
I don't know. You are that side. I am single this side.
I am also with you, sir. Don't worry, sir. Huh?
Okay, okay, okay,
I
okay.
think a discussion part is there, no, sir?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, no, no issue, no issue.
Okay. Yeah, sir. Yeah,
Hmm.
please.
Rodgi, sir, are
Okay.
you
Before,
unmuted all the participants' audio?
Yes, yes.
Unmuted or not?
Unmute all participants.
Okay.
They can type here.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
I will remove this presentation. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir,
Okay, sir.
you take, sir.
And I can see there are discussion chart is there. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
is there any research questions on this? No questions at all. They can type here, or otherwise they can ask directly to
Yes, sir.
me. Okay.
Dear participants, please type your questions in the chat box or raise your hand to speak. And unmute yourself, then ask to the speaker. If you any query, please unmute, then ask.
First of all, thank you for valuable webinars and resource person. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Data cleaning process. What kind of the data? Suppose, for example, it is a qualitative data, right? And see, some people give the answers. For example, yes बोलते हैं और उनका स्ट्रांग यस नहीं होता, कभी कभी है ना, यस होता है लेकिन स्ट्रांग नहीं होता है, ये भी एक है। कभी कभी अनसर्टन बातें होती है, तो ऐसे केस में हमको देखना पड़ेगा डेटा कैसा है, डेटा का रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस कौन सा है, कौन सा क्वेश्चंस पूछे हैं। तो ये सब करने के बाद हमको डेटा क्लीनिंग हो जाता है कि नहीं। कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि सम पीपल वेरी हरीडली पुट देयर यस और हरीडली पुट देयर नो, समथिंग लाइक दैट, विदाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग योर क्वेश्चंस, राइट। फिर बाद में उनका कहना रहता है कि भाई मैंने ऐसा ही बोल दिया, है ना। तो इसका स्ट्रांग ओपिनियन नहीं है वो, उसका लेस मॉडरेट ओपिनियन है और लेस इम्पोर्टेंट ओपिनियंस ऐसा हो जाता है। सो इन दैट लेवल्स यू लुक एट द डेटा, whether their mind state of mind that time when you ask the questions, that should be a very clean. Okay, so otherwise what happens that when we collect the data, primary data, and just we are running there, just we are sitting there and straight away we are asking the questions, so you will not get the proper answer, right. We have to sit with them, we have to interact with them, we have to fully make them understand your purpose of coming to their home to collect the data and purpose. Okay, then after fully understanding your the purpose and the your the expected things from them, then they will properly answer, response will come to you. Okay, so hurriedly collected data from them will take you, or your result may be mislead you. Okay, so that is the cleaning process, right. Either you clean after the coming from the field survey, or at the moment when you collect the data, you clean the mindset of the people, you explain that your purpose to coming their doorstep, about data collection and what you are going to use for. So that is the cleaning process. Okay. Then now there is a no software for the data cleaning. Okay, while entering the data in the software, where you very carefully you put data in the that column, right. So there is a no software. Software is there, but your data, directly cleaning software is not there. Huh? Okay. So directly there it is not there because you don't want to put your energy there, right? That is not the resource. You should take care of that. Data, software will not clean the data. It will clean the data. You have to, fill the column properly. Okay. You see, nowadays what is happening that we are rely on the software. Huh? Don't do that. That is not the clear resource. Nowadays, you see, until 1990, most of the World Bank experts, they used to rely on the statistical analysis. For example, econometrics modelings. So they put their brain almost from 90 to 2010. That is 20 years, right? And they design many statistical models for the development, growth, related to all the sectors, right? Even though they put their brain for designing the econometrics modelings, the poor countries are poor, developing countries are developing countries, and developed countries are developed countries. There is a nothing much change except the salary structure, or except the salaries. Every country suffering from, still they are suffering, okay, from that. So statistical analysis will not give the much result. Only we have to reframe the policy according to the needs of the public or the people. The statistical modeling will not give the or remove directly the poverty from India, right? Only that will be a very indicative that ये model से poverty जा सकती है, but it is not true in the real sense, because statistical modeling करके अगर poverty गया होता तो सब लोग बहुत अमीर भी बने होते, या तो फिर स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस से स्टॉक मार्केट अगर चला होता तो सब लोग अमीर बने होते, है ना? वो ट्रेंड ऐसा नहीं दिखती। अभी आपने देखा होगा कि इन लास्ट 1 वीक में इंडियन स्टैटिस्टिकल मार्केट स्टॉक मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है, तो स्टैटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस ने कभी नहीं बताया कि आप डूबने वाले हो, मार्केट में जाकर पैसा मत लगाओ, लेकिन फिर भी लोग डूब गए हैं, है कि नहीं? तो स्टैटिस्टिकल सॉफ्टवेयर ने अगर ये बताया होता कि आप पैसा मार्केट में मत डालिए नहीं तो डूब जाओगे, तो लोग डूबने से बचे होते। तो कोई भी स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल्स आपको बचा डूबने से बचाता नहीं, आपको एक इंडिकेटिव फार्मूला देते हैं और उससे आप बचने की कोशिश करना चाहिए। लेकिन ये स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल ने लोग जो बर्बाद हुए हैं लास्ट 1 वीक में बिकॉज ऑफ वार, कोई बचा नहीं है। पैसे तो डूब गए हैं, है कि नहीं? ऐसा कोई स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल नहीं है कि आपको बचा पाएगा। SPSS is okay, no problem. If your research questions answer is getting from the SPSS is okay, Python is okay, R is okay, view is also okay. Anything, any software you can use it, no issue. Excel is okay. There are better person, they know the Excel how to handle it. Even though that without any software Excel में भी बहुत अच्छा एनालिसिस करते हैं. Excel is also better. Don't think that the Excel is nothing. Excel से भी आपको आंसर मिल सकते हैं बहुत सारे। जब ये सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं थे तो हम लोग एक्सेल में ही काम करते थे। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम लोग अच्छे नहीं काम किया, वहां पे भी रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस निकलता है, ट्रेंड लाइन भी निकलता है और उसमें भी अच्छे तरह से एनालिसिस होता है। एक्सेल में भी जो एसपीएसएस में होता है वही एक्सेल में भी होता है। आपको ओनली वो हैंडल करने का तरीका पता होना चाहिए। ओके
Dear participants, if any query, please ask.
मुझे लगता है कि स्टूडेंट समझ में आया होगा, उनको समझेगा, क्योंकि रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी का 1.5 आवर्स में नहीं होता है ना? उनको बार बार उनको हैमरिंग करना पड़ेगा, उसके
Most
बाद
of
ही।
the participants are research scholars, academicians, sir.
ओके, नो इशू नो इशू। ये बार बार हैमरिंग ये तो काफी अनुभव से आता है। ये हर चीज जो है ये
Yes.
अनुभव से सीखी जाती है, किताबों से नहीं। किताबों से एक लीड मिलता है, लेकिन प्रैक्टिकल थिंग जब तक हम लोग नहीं करते तब तक हमको समझ में नहीं आता है। वी मस्ट take this very seriously, then we can understand very better. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for your
Thank you.
sir, knowledgeable, sir, very insightful sessions, sir, informative, sir. I hope dear participants got clarification your queries, and thank you for your active interaction in this webinar. Next, I invite our beloved principal, Dr. D.B. Mugadlimat, sir, to deliver presidential remarks. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Respected Chairman of VV Sangha and our college, Sri V.C. Raymond, sir. Respected resource person, Professor Kailas Tavre, sir. Organizing committee members, participated faculties, dear participants, students, a warm good afternoon to one and all. It's given me a great joy to preside over this one-day online national level webinar on research methodology and data handling, organized by the Department of Economics, Commerce, and Statistics under the I.K.C. initiative. In the present academic and research environment, research methodology plays a very important role in generating new knowledge and solving real world problems. Proper understanding the research methods and effective data handling techniques help researchers to conduct systematic and meaningful studies. Today's webinar is a wonderful opportunity for students, teachers, and researchers to gain a valuable insight about research methods, data collection, and analysis. Such an academic program enhance our knowledge and encourage critical thinking and innovations. I sincerely thank you, our distinguished resource person, Professor Kailas Tavre sir, for accepting our invitation and sharing his valuable knowledge and experience with all the participants. I am confident that expert guidance will greatly benefit everyone attending in this webinar. I am also congratulate the organizing team, especially the Department of Economics, Commerce, and Statistics, and I.K.C. coordinator Dr. Deepa Malgi madam, and all committee members for their sincere efforts in organizing this academic program successfully. With these final words of mine, I conclude my presidential speech. Thank you one and all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your support and encouragement for the grand success of this webinar, sir. Thank you, Mugallimat, sir. Once again,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Sir, before wind up this webinar, dear participants, I will give two instructions to the participants. First one instruction is there. Please note that all of you, a recording video of this webinar and the presentation slides will be sent to the WhatsApp group. Okay. Another one is daily 100 certificate limit is there. So all of you fill out the feedback form without fail. Immediately you will receive certificate your registered mail ID. Those who are not received certificate today, don't get confusion. You will receive certificate next day immediately. Okay. Thank you. Last but not the least, as we conclude, I would like to invite Srimati Sridevi Sajjan Madam to propose a vote of thanks. Ma'am, Sajjan ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. A very pleasant good afternoon to everyone. It is my great privilege to propose vote of thanks for today's program. On behalf of our college, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our respected chairman, Sri V.C. Hiramat sir. Thank you, sir. I also express my heartfelt thanks to resource person, Professor Kailash Tavre sir, for sharing their valuable knowledge and insights with us. Your guidance has truly inspired all the participants. Thank you, sir. Also, I would like to thank our respected principal, Dr. D.B. Mugadlimat sir, for giving us the opportunity and support to organize the workshop or webinar successfully. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks to organizing secretary, Dr. Deepa Malge, convener of this webinar, Sri Ramesh Yadav sir, and also staff who work behind the scenes to make this a great success. I would like to thank all the participants and students for their active involvement throughout the webinar. Once again, I would extend my sincere thanks to everyone who contributed directly or indirectly to the grand success of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Sajjan. Thank you, Sajjan ma'am. Once again, thank you as a IQ coordinator and organizing secretary of this webinar. Thank you once again, all my dear participants, research scholars, and today's resource person Kailash sir, and a special thanks to Dr. R.V. Gangshetty sir, Dean of Social Science, Karnataka State Akka Mahadevi Women's University, sir. Thank you, everyone, for your active participation.
तुम्हारे
in this
थर्ड के
webinar.
होंगे rubrics थर्ड
Thank you everyone.
देखते हैं
Rodgi sir.